everybody. Damon Friedman here with the Force for Good Show podcast, and today's topic is going to be about conflict. So, there's a lot of conflict in the world, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about some pretty big moving parts about what's happening in the world. But then I'm going to kind of just go down to the micro level, macro, micro, and I'm going to talk about you. I'm going to talk about me. I'm going to talk about our society. I'm going to talk about what we're doing and what we're not doing. And I have just this overwhelming conviction to share what's in my heart when it comes to conflict. You know, people are always asking, like, well, what can we do when there's conflict? Immediately, we think about just recently, there was a huge attack against Israel. Now, I'm going to tell you, regardless of what side you're on, the reality is that attacking innocent women and children, I don't care who you are, you're wrong. That's what Hamas did. That's what they did. Okay? And the reality is that there's this concept called extreme terrorism. All right? And that's what's happening. And of course, in this attack, you've got Hezbollah wanting to join the fight. You got the Taliban wanting to join the fight. For what? I'll be, as a war fighter after 20 years, right, serving my country, defending those that can't protect themselves, freeing the oppressed. That's why I joined the military, one of the major factors. And the reality is that I don't care who you are. You don't do stuff like that. You don't attack innocent people. You think that happened for the first time? Of course, as an American, United States of America, this is very familiar to me. Just one day you wake up and then all of a sudden there's an attack. Innocent people are killed. It's not the infantry against the infantry. No, it's not. It's not on some, battlefield. It's innocent people. Many people in today don't even remember September 11th, 2001. They don't. And it's ridiculous. Do you know how many people died that day? Thousands. You know how many people continue to struggle because of September 11th? Millions. It's not the first time the United States has been attacked. September 11th, when Al-Qaeda took the credit, who wanted to jump on? The Taliban. With 2001, September 11th, then all of a sudden, you've got a 20-year war. Literally, 20 years. The longest ever in the history of the United States. It was long. And I was one of the individuals that served in the majority of the time. I joined in 2000. 2001, the attack occurred. 2003, I was part of the invasion. And then numerous deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan all the way till I retired in 2020. And then, of course, the collapse in Afghanistan, which was a complete debacle, still completely irresponsible the way we ended that and the way that we left our friends behind. We left Americans behind. We left our interpreters behind. It's crazy. Do you think that's the only time? No. In 1941, December 7th, what do you think happened then? Oh my goodness, probably this generation today, they probably have no idea about what happened at Pearl Harbor in 1941 when Japan attacked the United States of America. Crippled the Navy. It's not the first time. Being attacked at home base and not thinking for a split second that would happen? Yeah, it occurs often. And right now, we see it on TV. We see what happened with Israel. We've seen what happened on September 11th. You see those two airplanes being crashed into the towers. And you see the collapse. You see another plane smashing into the Pentagon. 1941, we have pictures, we have bad like memories over it all. You know that was the launch of World War II? Yeah, that's right. A world war. I'm hoping that in Israel that's not the case. But I will also tell you they've been at war forever. Middle East, they love war. They love war. Trust me, if there's anybody out there that would love just to have a little bit of peace, it'd be me. It'd be any man or woman who put the uniform on and served this country, saw combat. Because I'm going to tell you something. War is hell. It is. Do you know what it's like to see an innocent person become a casualty? It's terrible. I've got guys that right now, are still struggling from the war. Special Forces officer who gives the green light to go ahead and get a building, cleared. They have a JTAC next to him, a combat controller. You got a heavy, machine gun position, heavy fire, laying it down the lead, man. Just laying down the lead. And you know what? Makes a command decision. You got aircraft overhead. It's legit, right? I mean, you had a couple machine gun positions in a building. They're laying it down. One special forces team. What are you going to do? You can use your organic weaponry? Maybe you have some 50 cals on your truck? I don't know. I didn't get into the details of what happened, but the command decision was made to drop a 500-pound bomb on that building. So here you have a good team, a good leader in the midst of conflict. It's called the fog of war. Clears, tells the JTAC, drop the bomb. F-15 flies overhead. Laser-guided munition. JTAC says cleared hot. Boom! Neutralizes the target. About 4 Taliban fighters. Definitely about another 4 military-age males. But four for sure were gunning these manning these machine guns. No doubt about it. And then what happens? They go in and everything is silent. They go in and do the battle damage assessment, and what do they find? Yeah, they totally smashed the bad guys, totally. They're dead. But then all of a sudden, they're starting to count other people. And they find women and children. Man, I'll tell you what. What would you do in the midst of battle? What are you going to do? Right now in Israel, what are you going to do? You don't know who's going to attack you. You don't know who's going to bomb you. What are you going to do? It's a fog of war. It's a very complicated situation. It really, really is. In war, innocent people will die. And it's a terrible thing. It really is. It's a terrible, terrible thing. So here's this guy, officer, he does the battle damage assessment. He finds innocent women and children. I mean, absolutely. And to this very day, it plagues him. It's conflict, man. Conflict. I don't know too many people that have gone to battle, gone to war, engaged, slinging lead, gunslinging, right? I don't know many of them that actually don't look back and they have some form of, depression or frustration or some kind of moral injury, a regret. I have many of them. So what do? It's conflict. Well, I'm here to tell you that we can do something. This world is filled with so much hate. And, we just came back from just talking about the war in Ukraine. A lot of people have different opinions on it. Mostly about the money that's being spent from America, right? Understandable. Right? You can't give all of your bank to another country when you got some major issues back in your own hometown. Right? Like, you can't help people unless you help out yourself. Oh, well, America's the wealthiest nation in the world. Are we? I'll tell you, if we continue doing business, we're not. I come into work today, and we've got a lot of people in our organization of faith. And of course, a lot of patriots, love America, red, white, and blue. And they're asking, like, well, what can we do? We support Israel. And this isn't a religious thing. This isn't a political thing. It's the fact that, come on, Hamas, you what did you do? Really? I mean, come on, man. Iran saying I've got nothing to do with it. They always say that, when in reality, most of the time, they have their hands all over it. What can we do? I'm going to tell you right now that in this moment, here in America, all we can do, this is what I do what you think is best. I'm going to pray for my people. I believe in the power of prayer. I believe that there's a God in the universe. I believe that out of 8 billion people in the whole world, that there's a creator, there's a designer. Yeah, I do. And most people actually do as well. I like to call him God. Most people in the world call him God. Pray. It actually makes a difference. If you're a person that doesn't believe in anything, okay, man, that's on you. I respect you as an individual to believe whatever you want. But I'm telling you right now, I've experienced God. I have. I'm not crazy. I'm not. I know there's a God in heaven, and I know that he has a plan for me, and it's great. It's huge. It's amazing. And it's filled with conflict. It is. It really is. Since the very inception of the world, you have good and you have evil. I believe without a shadow of a doubt that the good will triumph. 1,000,000,000%. I do. But it requires battle. Multiple battles to ultimately win the war. So today I'm praying for those people. They're not the only people that I'm praying for. Ever since we left Afghanistan, it's been a mess. It's been a mess. It's going right back the way that it was before. The Taliban, extreme terrorist networks out there particularly, they're doing the same stuff that they always have. Nobody knows right now. Nobody cares. Why? Because it's not on TV. This is the, level of ignorance of predominantly Western America, Western culture. And the reality is, the only thing that we pay attention to is what's on TV, what's on social media. For a guy who spent the majority of his life as an adult fighting extreme terrorism, if I wasn't deployed doing the nation's bidding, I was back here in garrison training for it. There's evil all over the world, man. There really is. And if you think for a split second that nobody right now is plotting to go ahead and attack the United States of America the way they did on September 11, 2001, at Pearl Harbor in 1941, that was in Honolulu. 9/11 was in New York. Where's it going to be next? I'm going to tell you something. Regardless of your political perspective, regardless of your religious perspective, regardless, killing innocent people is not acceptable. There's a way to wage war, and it doesn't have to be violent. What has happened? Even during the social justice movement, I completely 1,000,000,000% promote protesting. It's called the freedom of speech. 100%. When something's unjust, you stand up. You voice what you have to say for the victims. It's a healthy conversation between multiple parties. Didn't get that way. It felt like, there was a bulldozer, there's rioting, and then all of a sudden, innocent people are getting hurt. Businesses are being trashed. For what? There's looting. That's got nothing to do with it, does it? You'll find a small minority, a small population that says otherwise. No, I don't. That's not the right thing to do. People are working really hard. They can make a living and enjoy the freedom that people like myself served for, fought for, bled for. There are a lot of really great men and women who continue to fight for what's right. But in the process, in conflict, there are casualties. There really are. Now, there's a big difference between the Special Forces officer, leader, team lead, dropping a 500-pound bomb on a building where you have multiple machine gun positions. It was overwhelming. And Hamas just randomly bombing buildings with innocent people, kidnapping in. Are you kidding me? There's a really, really big difference. And so today, I'm telling my people, pray for Israel. Pray for those that are becoming victims. Pray for the people of Afghanistan. Pray for the people of Ukraine. Pray for them. But also support. Yeah, that's right. You know, they need all sorts of resources. Man, look, globally, we know who's a victim. America has so much money. It really does. There's all sorts of supplies that they need. It's hard to send over supplies from America. It really is. It's very, very expensive, and it takes forever. So you know what? Send some money. Find the team that is feeding the soldiers. Find the team that is helping the innocent. A safe house for the victims. But make sure that whoever you support, it's not just that they have an incredible media following, it's that they're fiscally responsible, that they're really going to use your money to help out those victims. Look, I've got another podcast that's going to talk about conflict, but it's more about the issues that are happening globally. But today I wanted to talk about war and what you could do to support those that are in the midst of battle. You know, a lot of people, they came up to me and said, thank you for your service. I immediately would say, thank you for your support, because do you know how hard it is to be in war? Do you know how hard it is for my family? Do you know how hard it is for my mindset, my mentality? Do you know how hard it is to do this for anyone, especially for 20 years? It's hard. For all you veterans out there, thank you for your service, man. Some of you hate it when people say that. But you know what? I don't. I just say thank you for your support. I do. And so today, as now that I'm no longer in the military, I'm no longer a gunslinger, I'm no longer deploying to fight terrorism, as a civilian, as a Marine, a former special warfare operator, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm asking everybody in America to do. Pray. Pray. Pray for justice. Pray for the innocent. And pray for those that are fighting for freedom, fighting for those that can't fight for themselves. And if you have a few dollars, send it to an organization that's out there helping those that need the help. But don't just be a person that prays. Be a person that does something. Because action matters. It really does. Action matters. What would it look like if everyone in America would just donate a little bit of money to a few organizations that can help those individuals that have become victims in the atrocity, to help those that are fighting for those people that are innocent? It'd be huge. I personally believe in giving money to nonprofits, and that money going in to make an atomic impact in conflict than in government giving billions of dollars to another nation. I've seen it. I've seen billions of dollars being sent to Haiti during the disaster relief. Billions of dollars. Catastrophic events. And then I actually will visit these countries like Haiti. I'm like, where did the money go? Where did it go? Let me tell you where it went. It's called corruption. It's called government. So the reality is that I really believe in the nonprofit space. I really do. Because people are altruistic and they believe in the power of humanity, and they believe that they can make an impact with a whole lot less than government entities. They do it because they're passionate about doing what's right. So today, it's about conflict. And at the end of the day, I'm calling everyone, hey, pray for those. Pray for the victims. Connect with the divine power, God, the Creator. But then do something. Support in any capacity that you can. It's the right thing to do. We need more men and women of action. So with all that said, find the conflict. Provide that support. Prayers are powerful. Action is required. Go out and be an unstoppable force for good. You could do it right in your own home, my friends. You don't have to go far. You just have to engage and be a part of the solution. My name is Damon Friedman, and this is the Force for Good Show podcast. Godspeed.